Bienvenue à tous. Welcome to Reporters, France 24's eyes on the big stories worldwide. In this edition, criminality and corruption, our correspondents have witnessed the twin scourge of the elections in India. The world's biggest vote could well turn out to be amongst the most corrupt. Our report will show you how the practice of vote buying is widespread, almost, it seems, expected. What price democracy? Quite cheap if our reporter's findings are to be believed. As little as €2 will buy you a vote in most Indian states. The voting, bought or not, goes on for 6 weeks before the final tally is counted. Only then will we know if the candidates of integrity, and yes, they do exist, have prevailed, or if it really is money that talks in an Indian election. Bikram Singh and Constantin Simon brought us this from New Delhi.
They've come from villages all over Bihar to cheer on a most unusual politician. Veena Devi is fighting to become one of the 545 members of India's next parliament, but she has little political experience or interest in public office. In fact, she's only the official candidate. The real one is standing next to her, Suraj Bhan Singh, her husband and a man locally known as the Godfather. Unable to stand himself because of a murder conviction and nearly 100 other complaints for murder, kidnapping and extortion, he hopes that his wife's election will help keep justice at a safe distance.
I'm the best and I'm sure about myself. All these people who are there, they believe in me.
Suraj Bhan Singh's case isn't an isolated one. 17% of Indian candidates have a criminal record. In the last elections in 2009, some even campaigned from inside their prison cells. The law has now been amended to stop this, but many politicians with criminal records feel invincible. Suraj Bhan Singh, for example, seems to have little regard for his constituents.
Move!
Calm down. Don't forget you'll only win with the support of these people.
And there's a good chance that the Godfather will win. That's because he has the support of Narendra Modi, the prime ministerial candidate who has promised to rid Indian politics of criminals.
We all want Narendra Modi for Prime Minister. Long live Modi.
Long live Narendra Modi.
Modi and his party are strong favourites to win these elections. His alleged involvement in the 2002 religious riots in Gujarat has made him a controversial figure. But since then, Modi has sought to project himself as an able administrator, a messiah who will fix all of India's problems.
My brothers and sisters, wherever I go, everyone I meet, our adversaries seek a solution against Modi. They are so busy fighting Modi, they are not taking care of our country.
Modi is an excellent campaigner, energizing crowds with his nationalistic rhetoric. His party wants him to be seen as a great unifier and is willing to pay any price. At one of his rallies, we found that at least part of the crowd had been paid off.
Of course the people who are here have been paid. For people like me, 1 day of work is 200 rupees. So you have to pay me 200 rupees if you want me to attend your meeting.
In India, most political parties use these methods and they no longer shock anyone. But it doesn't stop there. Some candidates in the world's largest democracy even buy votes. We traveled to Bihar state to meet the people behind these politicians. Bihar has a reputation for criminality. We filmed with hidden cameras.
So earlier there was a fixed price, but now we have to adapt to each inhabitant.
The vote fixers take us on a tour of the village. A vote costs anything from 2 to 12 euros. This man hopes to buy 500 supporters for Modi. How do you know that they're not going to vote for someone else?
They're not smart enough.
We do what he tells us, exactly what he tells us to do. We vote for the person he tells us vote for.
The vote fixer is now more relaxed, and we no longer need to film him with hidden cameras.
All the money is party.
They're giving you... Okay. They're giving you money to give?
Gift.
How much they give you?
There's no limit. Whatever they give, we distribute that. The sums are calculated on the basis of the number of voters in each village. You could say that they give us money for buying votes. You could say that it's illegal money.
What is black money?
Okay. And police is not no problem?
No, if the police come, we run away.
And the number of police raids is rising.
Cash, liquor,
money, gifts, even alcohol and drugs to buy the votes of addicts. This year, in less than a month of campaigning, the police have seized 25 million euros in cash, close to 3 million litres of alcohol and 70 kilos of heroin from members of different political parties.
Hundreds of kilograms of other drugs have been seized.
And when gifts aren't enough to convince voters, crooked politicians have other means of getting their way.
They force us to vote for them.
And if you don't do it?
Their men threaten us with guns. They can even shoot us.
Everything depends on the security situation. If there's enough policemen, the gangsters won't interfere.
Crime and corruption are the twin scourges of Indian democracy. The Congress Party, which has been in power for the last decade, has done little to curb either. Most Indians want a change from the constant news of scams and scandals. And their frustration is increasingly directed at Rahul Gandhi, the 43-year-old heir of India's most prestigious political dynasty. Critics say he's dull and uninspiring. His poll ratings are languishing, and many feel his party will record its worst ever performance in these elections.
Our opponents promised to end the Congress, to rid India of our party. Well, my answer is this. The Congress is not an organization or even a party. It's an idea rooted deep in our hearts.
But with the economy struggling, Indians have more immediate concerns, and the Congress has failed to address them. These empty seats reflect the lack of enthusiasm for a party that's accused of abandoning the poor and stuffing its own pockets. But things are changing, and a revolution of sorts is underway. At the other end of the country, in the state of Gujarat, we met members of the Aam Aadmi, or Common Man's Party. Most of them lack political experience, and they have just one key message: an India free of corruption. They're led by Arvind Kejriwal, a former bureaucrat who's organized mass protests against corruption. Today, he's come to challenge Narendra Modi, the favorite, on his home turf.
Modi says that he's a very honest person. And Modi also says that he has removed all corruption from Gujarat. So we are here to ask the people and to find out whether he has actually removed corruption or not.
You will be the next Prime Minister of India?
Who?
Who? You?
No! My aim is to unite the people of India against corruption, not to become the Prime Minister.
Kejriwal receives a hostile welcome. His opponents accuse him of destabilizing the country and its institutions, of being an agitator without a political project.
Down with Kejriwal.
He's a leftist.
Arvind Kejriwal wants to meet Modi, but Gujarat's strongman refuses to speak to him and has sent the police instead. Kejriwal eventually chooses to address another Indian leader. Followed by a media scrum, he makes his way to the ashram of Mahatma Gandhi.
Gandhiji is a very respected figure for all of us.
Members of Kejriwal's party claim to follow the values of Gandhi, humility and simplicity, but they're not averse to milking the media's attention. Attaching themselves to Gandhi is a political calculation. It might win them some extra votes.
There are millions of Gandhijis are in India. If everybody will follow the ideology of Gandhiji, then we can revolutionize India.
But this revolution, as members of the Aam Aadmi Party have understood, must take place at the ballot box. Our next destination is Delhi, India's capital, where the Aam Aadmi Party enjoyed a surprising success in regional elections last December. In the footsteps of Gandhi, Aam Aadmi leader Rajesh Garg wants to project an image of modesty. He's campaigning door to door in a style that's become the hallmark of his party. Their election symbol is a broom, with which they say they'll sweep India clean of corruption.
Don't take money or alcohol. Vote for the broom.
Look at how dirty the water is. These pipes need to be cleaned.
And this pit is totally clogged.
These modern-day Robin Hoods claim that by recovering the money stolen by politicians, they'll be able to provide water and electricity to slum dwellers. Some say the Aam Aadmi Party's promises are impossible to deliver, but voters here are still seduced by them.
We've seen the Congress and BJP for years. Now let's try these new people. Let's see what they can do. We hope that with them things can change.
We follow Rajesh out to the slum. He's traded his official car for a motorized rickshaw, paid for by his constituents.
My opponents mock me, but with the help of this rickshaw, I can see things better. The holes in the streets, the garbage, and all the problems of the street.
It is this promise of accessible politics that brought his party victory in their first ever election. The middle class and the poor voted for the Aam Aadmi Party, and rickshaw drivers even campaigned for them.
He's just like us. He's an ordinary citizen, and he was chosen from amongst the normal people. That makes me happy. Other politicians travel in big cars and have a different lifestyle. He lives just like us.
Rajesh and his party have attacked the VIP culture surrounding Indian politics.
Can I have? Yes, you can see.
Thank you very much. Never happened in the history of the Indian democracy. This is the first time that our leaders are down to earth. And, you know, they are really, I'm impressed. The whole India is now, you know, revolutionized. Okay.
To cement his image as an ordinary man, Rajesh even drives his own rickshaw. But when he arrives at the Delhi State Assembly, things get a little complicated.
You know the rules. Your rickshaw is not allowed here.
But is it okay outside the parliament?
No, it's banned on the entire premises.
Okay, can you show me the rules?
The anti-corruption crusaders of the Aam Aadmi Party have yet to prove that they can bring about lasting change. In Delhi, their government lasted just 49 days before Kejriwal resigned in protest at being unable to pass a law against corruption. Many saw it as a sign that the party isn't capable of governing. The 28 elected members of the Aam Aadmi Party still have their seats in the assembly. Amongst them is a 26-year-old slum dweller.
Earlier, everybody thought that only the rich can become politicians. But I am living proof that an ordinary man can also win an election.
The Aam Aadmi Party wanted to make Delhi the laboratory of its political revolution. Kejriwal and his followers now hope to make a larger impact across India. But it'll be a tall order. India seems to want a strong man, not a common one, to fix the many ills of its huge but imperfect democracy.
Our reporter Vikram Singh joins us now from New Delhi. Vikram, thank you for being with us. Thank you very much for your report. The question I suppose everybody's asking at the end of it is, does democracy exist in India, or is it just a question of who may be offering the most amount of money for the votes at the time?
It exists in a far from perfect form. There are, as you see in the report, some very real problems. But let's not forget at the same time the immense scale of the elections in India. In many ways, they are democracy at its most spectacular. You've got more than 800 million eligible voters. About 60% of them, in the case of Delhi, for example, where I voted, come out to vote. And Delhi voted on the 10th of April. I remember getting out and seeing a wide variety of people, really, the young and the old, the rich and the poor, men and women, very enthusiastic about the democratic process. So it is, in many ways, it is a vibrant, a functioning democracy. And the elections for the most part, are free and fair. The campaigning sees its fair share of dirty politics and tricks, but the elections are conducted in a fairly sophisticated manner. India is one of the few countries that uses electronic voting machines. There's a huge security apparatus, so there's not too much violence. And you don't really see too many instances of booths or being taken over or votes being rigged.
Let's talk about the candidates a bit and the perception of them, given what you've said in the report. What hope is there really that the big problems in Indian society will be tackled if those who are standing for office have criminal records?
Well, even though criminals claim to be seeking to fix those problems, they are politicians after all. But you're right. India's had multiple generations of what you could lightly call disappointing leaders, people who've had bad criminal records, who've engaged in a number of scams once they come to office. Now, but what gives us hope, and I guess what gives the Indian people hope, is really the fact that there seems to be somewhat an electoral revolution taking place, which we see in the report, most obviously through the example of the Aam Aadmi Party, the Common Man's Party. And that's happening because people are fed up, really, of some of these issues just dragging on and on. We saw that in the street protests against corruption, against violence against women, and people are now looking for candidates that will offer solutions to those problems, will not just seek to stuff their own pockets. So there is hope, and there is hope because there's a new breed of politician coming through, and increasingly there are people that are willing to try them out, as you see in the report, people saying they want to try something different and vote for change.
Will the people of India benefit, whoever wins? Very quickly.
Well, whoever comes into power certainly has a huge amount of work to do. There's certainly a lot on the plate. This economy is struggling. There's still many areas of India that don't have basic sanitation and healthcare. At the same time, the government here seems to be stuck, really. It wasn't really very effective the last 5 years. And so there is hope that a new government coming to place will kickstart some of those government institutions and that there will be positive change.
I know you'll be keeping an eye on that for us. Thank you, Vikram Singh and Constantin Simon, with our reporters feature this week, the elections in India. Thank you very much, sir. If you want to see it again, you can, of course, via FranceVinquant.com. Stay with us. You're watching France 24.